So there were a lot of teams that we were really interested to see what they did, either after a big loss, a big win. Let's start with Arch Manning because he's the most scrutinized player in all of college football this year. We just spent a week of talking about how not ready he was for the moment against Ohio State. That Steve Sarkisian really couldn't open up his playbook with him. And he comes out and had kind of a get-right game, right? Like, there's things to critique. We'll get there in a second.
For sure.
But 4 touchdown passes, rush for another. But really just like it felt, I don't know, there was like a moment where he like kind of let out this like catharsis on the sideline.
There was a lot of emotion.
A lot of emotion.
Yes, there was.
So I feel good for the kid because, you know he's going to get better, but you know he had a rough week. And this is what you're supposed to do against San Jose State. Like, this could have been your opener, but instead you were in Columbus. It was really, really tough against Matt Patricia's defense. And finally, Arch Manning can exhale and sleep well.
Well, and he deserves that opportunity. I couldn't imagine walking around with the pressure that he probably feels. And I said it last week, like, you got to find a way to turn it off. There's really not a way to.
No.
You're going to hear all of these different things, and your teammates are probably talking about him. So anyway, good for him to be able to rebound. But the start of that game was even still shaky. We're sitting in the game screening room, and I'm like,
most of the first quarter.
Yeah, I'm like, man, it probably feels a little bit tense in that stadium. Like, it's got to be weird. And then all of a sudden, Sark starts dialing up these creative plays, and I think that's a big part of Arch's progression as a quarterback is having the opportunity to take the shots. But he had them. They were wide open. He completed them. Ball might not have been the prettiest ball in the world. We'll talk about that in a sec. But the idea of getting back to a place mentally where you say, I can own this game.
Yes.
This game is what I'm built to do. You saw that today out of Arch.
I agree. And so, yeah, I mean, like, a couple of the passes were thrown a little bit behind guys, but they were schemed open, right?
Sure.
Like, it worked. And last week we saw him completely whiff or bounce the ball in some of these open receivers. So this was still a huge improvement.
No, it certainly is. And again, like, I keep going back to this idea that every week we see him, he's going to be better than the week before. Like, this version of him today is the second worst version we'll see all year, in my opinion. Right? And so as long as he continues to take those steps. Now, what he needs to do is maybe be a little bit more accurate, right? You don't want your receivers twisting and turning to try to catch the ball. Got to figure out a way to fix some of the mechanics. Talk about the arm slot. The ball's wobbling in the air. It's not a tight spiral. Wide receivers love to complain about that.
Yeah, but the arm angle is the part that, like, it just looks off. And I don't think he threw like that last year.
I don't know.
We need to look this up.
Well, we got to see if he's got 2 uncles he should be working with. But if he's working with one of those guru guys, that they mess kids up.
Or just trying to be like Patrick Mahomes or something like
Don't
on
do
the scramble.
that.
But look, footwork and the arm angle, I think, can obviously improve for
Yes.
him. And it can look easier.
Right.
And the spiral will come. So I think, like, we are going to continue to see him get better. I've been saying, like, oh, they have Florida in a month. Well, maybe now that game is not as scary as
Florida has Texas in a month. How about that?
Yeah, maybe we should rephrase that one.